Hi, it's Stephen Custom Table Tennis, and somebody was just asking about the SpinLord Defender blade, and he was a little bit confused with all the different variations. So I thought, well, I can feel a video coming on, so I thought we'd do a video on this. Personally, I think at the price point there is no better defensive blade or defensively minded blade. The size is, and it's a perfect size for me as well, because I use this exact size, but I use a wood nut. 157 that way by 162, and that seems to be the norm on a defensive oversized blade. Normally your normal blade is 150 by 157, so it's not a massive thing, but what I like is the quality and the finish and the feel. Let's just have a look at the weights. They are 78 plus or minus 3, so I'll just pick them out at random. So that one's on the money, 78. So look at this one, 77. So I've seen them at 75 and I've seen them at sort of 80, but they're never much out of specification. I can get those out of the way now. So the choices available. In fact, I won't go with the choices. Let me just do some measurements for you. So, and tell you a little bit more about the blade. So there is a Hinoki handle, which we like. So I like the Hinoki. The outer is limber, so straightforward limber. The inners are Koto, and the core is a nice soft AS. And the speed is down from the manufacturer is 5 speed, 10 control. So maximum amount of control for this type of blade. I mean, when you think of this, currently at the moment is $34.99. When you think you can pay hundreds for expensive branded blades. So just having a look at the handle to give you an idea. So many videos like these. So we've got the flared. It's gone to inches, that's my fault. Let's get it back to millimeters. Right, so the millimeters, 27.5, and on the flared up at the top we've got 32.5, and that way 25.4. So it's a nice, it's not chunky, but it's just a nice fit for a flared. And then let's have a look at the straight. So the straight this way, 29.7, and then that way 21.8. So it's a really nice size. I mean, I would be, if you're considering that you're not sure, but maybe you're going to start twiddling. I mean, you can twiddle with this quite nicely. You can get that around quite quick and onto your, so you can change different surfaces. So these are the blades. Every single one and every bat that I make, that we're going to seal the blade with some of this stuff, although I have to say we're out of stock at this at the moment, but I've got a few left for myself. So the blades are going to get sealed. This is nice and flush, nothing fancy, you just need to know what it is. Nice and flush there, nice and flush there. Absolutely delighted with these blades. So much so that we thought, well, it wasn't worth us making our own and putting our logo in there, because I like these so much and I like the simplicity of them. So moving those aside then for a moment, and let's have a look at the rubber variations. So on the cheaper end one, we've got the classic world #1. We've had this probably the best part of 14 years. It's Tootle is the brand. It's 9602 on there, so that's the second one that they ever made. It's nice and tacky. I'll just peel it back a little bit so you can actually see how tacky it is. So you got a fair bit of tack there, and these are not over expensive, but if you're fancying trying an oversized blade and you're a control player, that will be the starting point. Before we get to all the different combinations and why you might have them, a really good rubber. We've had this for a number of years, probably getting on for 10 years, I would imagine. Made in Germany, global leader of table tennis rubbers, Exiom. Let's have a look. Have a look at the print on there. And what I can tell you about this rubber, yes, you've got all the information on there. Moser, made in Germany, is that it's made of pure natural rubber. And it's a very, very durable rubber. It's not the easiest for me to cut, I'll have to admit. It's but really, really grippy. And I know players have got these. There's not really any tack there, it's just grip. Pure natural rubber, they last absolutely ages. So definitely worth upgrading if you're wanting something a little bit more durable. You can play a nice all-round game with this, with the emphasis on control, and then the back doesn't get too heavy. So that's the reverse rubbers. Moving on then, I guess the next place to go is with the Friendship 804, which is down as an anti-spin rubber. We're going to actually make it available in the 1.5 or the 2mm, so you can actually tick the box as to which thickness that you want. I thought long and hard about that, but so many people have said, oh, can I have it in 1.5? So we're going to do that for you. So all you need to do is go in the drop down box, and that's all you need to decide is what thickness that you want. So it's a bit of a funny rubber, this, really. Well, it's anti-spin, but it reminds me, there's a little bit of grip there. It reminds me of a part-worn rubber. It's not completely frictionless, but it's still classed as an anti because it's got a slow breaking sponge. It's got a nice HRS sponge, medium soft. Been around for a long time, and we sell lots of it because it's nice and cheap. It's made in China, and the quality, when they didn't used to put this protective film on, the quality was dire. It was all marked up, and I'd put a sheet on a bat and it looked like the thing had been used. But now that we're seeing this protective sheet on there, the quality's gone up. So who would use this then? That's what the guy was asking. If you're struggling with serves, if you just you've just joined a club and you're really struggling down one wing, usually the backhand side, or you just want to add a little bit of variety in your game, because if you can actually hit with this, it's a lot flatter hit because there's not much grip to grip the ball and fire it over. It's worth a look at. It's an inexpensive rubber. When you think you can buy, I don't know, a Neubauer anti-spin for £45–50, it's worth having a look at, and then you can choose. So moving along then to the other three choices, and I'll start at the 80240 because people, I did a long-winded video about this, but it probably too long. It was over nearly 30 minutes long. But we're going to use the mystery rubbers, and the reason why is because for a couple of quid more, well, the cost is a couple of quid more, going to cost you a couple of pound more, the quality on these seems to be just a little bit higher. So you're going to get the 802 mystery. There's no choices in this one, it's just whatever we've got. And it's a really, really good rubber. So I can run through it again. A short pimple rubber, and this one, the 802, what it means is the pimples out are short, and they're usually, but not always, but this is a 0.5mm short pimple, which means you can play an open game. If you're coming off a reverse rubber, it doesn't take that much time to adjust to something like this, because you can play all the shots. There's a little bit of grip there, but again, if you're struggling with serves, or you just want a rubber that you can hit with, I mean, lady in my team's got this type of rubber on both sides. She's not really bothered about the spin. I've got this type of rubber on one side. So nice rubber, been around for the best part of 38–40 years. Incidentally, I think I say it every time, the company 729 was founded in September '72. So you're buying from a company that's been around a long time, and we like the Mystery 3 802. So moving along then, this is the 563 Mystery 3, and this is the medium pimple. In fact, what I'll do at the end, I'll bring them all in together. And this, so what is a medium pimple then? Well, firstly, the pimples are a little bit longer. Well, in fact, they're 1 millimeter long, and they're usually a little bit thinner, I should have said. So they're a little bit thinner. Spacing can vary, but this, again, it's kind of a go-to rubber. You get a wobble ball or a knuckle ball, or it can do funny things. Not the easiest to play with, I've got to say. We don't sell as much as this because it has got a bit of a learning curve. But if you know about blocking and getting the ball over the table, you're going to get about disruptive effects. You're probably going to get 30 to 40% more disruption than the 802. So I'm going to bring them out so don't forget at the end. And then finally, this is probably their best-selling pimple. This has been around for years. It's your go-to rubber. It's inexpensive, and again, one of the reasons why we like the Mystery is the quality is higher than your standard. We do sell this separately, by the way, so if you're just wanting to buy a sheet, we've got all these separately. But if you hone in on that, the quality in the print is just better than the standard stuff for whatever reason. Whether this is their flagship and premium products, but what you've got here, so if I go through it again before we finish up. So if we start at the 802 is the short, which is 0.5. The 563 is the medium, which is 1 millimeter, and then as you see the spacing is more, so pimples are tight together there, spaced out on the 563, and a little bit of a, well, it's a thinner pimple than the 802. And then finally you've got your thinnest, longest pimple, which they are quite soft and pliable, so you're going to get a lot of effects on the ball. So there we go. I think I've just about covered everything. The guy asked the question, I thought, do you know what, it's a good opportunity to do a video. And finally we'll bring in the bat. So ordinarily this is what your bat's going to look like. So you're always going to get the world number 1 on the forehand. I mean, you can put all the stuff in the basket and make whatever you want using this blade. I think the blade, as I said earlier, was $34.99 for the blade. It's going to be made to perfection by either myself or Adam. It's going to be finished off with the SpinLord edge tape, and that's ready to go out. Actually, that's a 755, and again, just like the quality of the Mystery, not a lot of companies, I don't think anybody else is keeping it in the UK because it's a little bit dearer, but I think it's worth the extra. So a little insight into the SpinLord Defender. We like it. It's our go-to defensive, inexpensive defensive blade. You can pay hundreds if you're buying named after one top defender. You can pay £100 odd, but like this, really good high quality blade, and that's the bat that you would get. That's the combination. And it's known as a combination bat. So you've got a smooth on one side or a normal reverse rubber on the other, and some kind of pimple, or even the anti-spin. It's a combination bat. If you have, like me, I've got a short pimple on one side and I've got a long on the other, that is called a speciality bat. So Steve from Custom Table Tennis, hit the like and subscribe button, and if you want any more videos and reviews, just let us know, and if you have any ideas also just let us know. Until next time, bye for now.